That feeling in your chest, right in the center. Physical, tangible, real. You've never heard this before, but that feeling is not in your head. When you go through a breakup, your brain registers it as a genuine injury. A region called the anterior cingulate cortex processes this pain through the exact same neural pathways it uses for a broken bone or damaged tissue. Science has proven that your brain literally cannot tell the difference between the person who loved you is gone and your arm is broken. This isn't a metaphor. This is a neurological fact, measured with millimeter precision. And once you understand that, everything you're going through starts to make sense. Because you are not weak. You are not being dramatic. You're not falling apart. Your body was programmed by evolution to feel this pain exactly this way. The loss of a social bond gets coded into your brain as a survival threat, and the moment that threat activates, the entire system goes on high alert. Two separate brain systems, two hormone cycles. One neural network, all shutting down at once. Stay with me until the end of this video, because no one has ever explained this to you quite like this. Deep inside your brain sits a small but powerful structure, the anterior cingulate cortex. It activates whenever the body detects physical harm, a burn, a fracture, a deep wound. All of it passes through here. Think of it as your brain's biological pain interpreter. Now here's what the research tells us. A breakup, being left, being abandoned, activates that exact same region at that exact same intensity. In a 2011 fMRI study at the University of Michigan, researchers scanned participants who had recently gone through a breakup. The findings were striking. The brain regions that lit up during a physical burn were the same ones that lit up during heartbreak. Same neural pathways, same biochemical cascade, same alarm system firing. This isn't a coincidence. It's evolutionary design. For our ancestors, losing your place in a group wasn't just painful, it was fatal. No tribe meant no hunting, no protection, no shelter. So over millions of years, the brain began encoding social loss as a survival-level threat. And that ancient code is still running inside you today. What your body feels is not an overreaction. It is a biological signal doing exactly what it was built to do. In neuroscience, social pain is no longer treated as a vague emotional experience. It's recognized as a hardwired warning mechanism. When the brain receives that signal, it shifts the entire body into threat mode, triggering the same physiological chain reaction designed for physical injury. That's why the feeling in your chest is real. So how does this neurological response ripple through the rest of your body? The chemical collapse goes much deeper than most people realize. Stay with me. During your relationship, your brain was running on a carefully balanced chemical system. Dopamine, the molecule of reward, anticipation, and vitality. Oxytocin, the molecule of trust, closeness, and connection. Together, they were constantly signaling to your brain that the world was safe, meaningful, and worth showing up for. Your brain didn't just enjoy that balance. It adapted to it all the way down to the cellular level. Then the breakup happens. That equilibrium vanishes overnight. Dopamine drops. The source of oxytocin disappears. And what follows isn't just sadness, it's withdrawal. Research shows that brain activity after a breakup overlaps with clinical substance withdrawal by around 60%. Same regions activating, same chemical hunger, same obsessive thought patterns cycling on repeat. But it doesn't stop there. As dopamine and oxytocin fall, cortisol and adrenaline surge. Your body shifts into fight or flight. Heart rate climbs, muscles tighten, digestion slows. Sleep becomes unreliable. Your body is responding as though it's in a survival crisis because from your brain's perspective, it is. And when that high cortisol state lingers, the system starts to wear down. Neuroplasticity research shows that the brain immediately begins restructuring itself after a breakup. Synaptic connections tied to the former relationship start to weaken. New patterns begin forming to take their place. That process is biologically expensive. It costs energy. Which is exactly why that hollow, heavy, exhausted feeling isn't just emotional. It's your brain doing reconstruction work. At the cellular level. So how does all of this chemical upheaval show up in your physical body? The answer lives in a nerve most people have never heard of. That tightness in your chest, the nausea sitting low in your stomach, the food you can't bring yourself to eat. These aren't psychological reactions, they're physiological ones. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve in your body, running from your brainstem all the way down through your heart, lungs, stomach, and intestines. When the stress response activates, it travels directly through this nerve, the chest tightness you feel. That's the vagus nerve affecting your heart, the nausea and lost appetite. That's it, reaching into your digestive system. These symptoms are real, they're measurable, they make complete biological sense. But there's one more effect that rarely gets mentioned. Heartbreak suppresses the immune system. Studies show that in the first 8 weeks following a breakup, natural killer cell activity, your body's frontline defense against infection, can decline by up to 30%. Pain sensitivity increases. Headaches, muscle tension, and joint discomfort become more frequent. None of this is in your imagination. And the most dramatic finding of all, Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, more commonly known as broken heart syndrome. This is a documented medical condition in which the heart muscle temporarily stops functioning properly under extreme emotional stress. The left ventricle expands abnormally. Pumping capacity drops. The symptoms are so close to a heart attack that without imaging, even experienced clinicians can struggle to tell the difference. This is not your weakness. This is an overloaded biological system doing its best. So why can't the mind just stop? Why does the same thought keep coming back? There's a precise neurological answer. You know exactly how this feels. A thought surfaces, you push it away, it comes back anyway. A memory, a conversation, a moment, cycling through uninvited, relentlessly on a loop you didn't ask for. This isn't a failure of willpower. This is your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. When a deep attachment bond breaks, the brain processes the absent person like a phantom limb. The entire neural map built around that person, their voice, their habits, their presence in your daily life, doesn't simply delete itself. It keeps reaching toward something that's no longer there. That's why catching their scent somewhere unexpected hits you physically. The map is still active. The territory has just changed. At the same time, your prefrontal cortex, the rational, reasoning part of your brain, is being overridden again and again by your limbic system. In the weeks after a breakup, the amygdala runs at chronically high activation. The prefrontal cortex fights back. It almost always loses. That's why you can know logically that something is over and still be unable to fully accept it. Two different brain systems are running simultaneously, and right now, the older, more primal one is winning. Then add the phone into the equation. Checking their social media triggers a small dopamine hit, the identical mechanism that makes slot machines so hard to put down. You're not doing it because you want to. You're doing it because your brain's reward circuit has learned that a quick glance offers temporary relief from chemical deprivation, a brief hit for a system in withdrawal. But just like any dose, it doesn't end the craving, it resets the clock. Every look extends the neural attachment. Every look postpones the healing. But this loop can be recalibrated. The biology that's driving the pain is the exact same biology that will build the way out. The goal here isn't to feel nothing. The goal is to give your system what it actually needs to rebuild. And the nervous system is surprisingly specific about what works. The first lever is physical movement. Research shows that just 20 to 30 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise measurably reduces amygdala reactivity, not over weeks, but within hours of a single session. Exercise metabolizes cortisol, raises a protein called BDNF that directly drives neuroplasticity, and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, shifting the body out of fight or flight. Lower cortisol means the brain can reconstruct itself more efficiently. The second lever is social presence. This is one of the most consistent findings in attachment neuroscience. Secure social connection chemically compensates for the bond that was lost. Physical proximity, shared laughter, and genuine conversation restart oxytocin production. When the brain gets evidence that the social world is still intact, its threat response begins to quiet down. You don't have to talk about the breakup. You just have to not be alone. The third lever is reframing the pain itself. The amygdala is highly sensitive to meaning. When the brain classifies pain as pointless suffering, the stress response amplifies. But when that same pain is understood as a process, as something that has direction, the physiological response actually shifts. Post-traumatic growth research shows that people who frame difficult experiences as transformation rather than damage have measurably lower cortisol levels at 6 to 8 weeks compared to those who don't. You are not falling apart. Your brain is doing something profoundly complex, dismantling one of the deepest neural structures it has ever built, and laying down something new in its place. The pain is the cost of that construction. The very nervous system making you feel all of this right now is also, quietly and without stopping, rebuilding you from the inside. This was always biology. No one had ever explained it to you this way. Every time you feel that weight in your chest, your nervous system is communicating something important. It isn't broken. It is functioning exactly as it was designed to, processing the loss of something it classified as essential to your survival. The anterior cingulate cortex is doing its job. The dopamine system is recalibrating. The vagus nerve is carrying the signal. Amygdala is standing watch. And beneath all of it, neuroplasticity is quietly doing its work. The brain that hurts right now is the same brain that is healing. These are not two separate stages happening in sequence. They are happening at the same time right now at the cellular level, in real time. Cortisol will come down. As dopamine pathways will find new directions. The neural map built around that person will soften, not vanish, but gradually reorganize itself around a life that keeps moving forward. This was always biology. That pain was never a sign that something was wrong with you. It was a sign that something genuinely mattered, and that your nervous system is built to honor that. Now you know. Which of your body's responses to emotion makes you most curious about what's actually happening inside? Tell me in the comments. The next video might start right there.